Alright, what you see here is a SMC Emperor Flush ceiling fan. It's a 52-inch ceiling fan in antique brass that I got at a pawn shop brand new in the box. This fan specifically is from March of 1993. So with 90s SMC, and with that being said, it is unfortunately one of the more cheaper quality SMC fans. Although they were never really the highest quality fans to begin with. Back in the 80s, from what I've heard, they were definitely better quality compared to the 90s ones. Although each year they basically would make some modification to all the ceiling fans, so each year basically they would kind of get worse until they stopped selling SMC fans in the U.S. And when I say that, I mean that they stopped selling fans under the SMC name altogether. Though SMC still does make ceiling fans for various companies to this day. Back in the 80s and 90s, they did sell fans specifically under their logo. I've always liked the look of these Emperor Hugger fans. There's two of them that were pretty big childhood fans for me that were Supreme Moss ones, I think they were. Supreme Mark IV, I think it was. There was two of them at a former antique shop, which is where I got the Airflow antique table fan. And then the next place that I took over painted the blades black. They were shown, I filmed videos of them many years ago, back in like 2013. But it's not the exact childhood version, but it's pretty close to it. But yeah. Basically the Moss ones, they don't have these standard blade arms like these. They have those more fancy looking blade arms. I definitely would love to find one of those ones at some point. But I've always liked to look at the SMC ones as well. I did see one as a kid. It is featured in one of the old fans photo slideshows I did back in 2013. I think it's in the first or second one. It's in one of those two, either in part 1 or part 2. Out of the 6 videos I did. But this one's a little bit later, as the one that was in that slideshow had the heart-shaped SMC blade arms, whereas this one doesn't. Kind of wish it did have the heart-shaped ones, because those are more SMC looking. But it's whatever. But basically, these were economical fans you could buy back then that were decent. Unlike today's fans that are economical from like Kmart or Walmart. I don't think these were sold at Home Depot. I know these were like Walmart fans or Kmart fans. These are like sold at Walmart or Kmart. Not sure if they sold these at Target, but they did sell these in other places as well, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, I'm showing it with the cane blades, obviously. And the other side, just reverses to plain oak. I did use this Schoolhouse Globe on the video I did with the Fast Charleston, as I figured it has an older look to it compared to the newer styled, well, compared to like more recent ones you can find nowadays, based on the shape of this one. So I figured this would look better on it. But yeah, I really do like the white feathers on them that they have the holes. It kind of gives it more of an antique look to them. But yeah, the build on it is really not the highest quality. It is pretty cheap. But basically these were like the cheaper fans you can get back then that performed well. But yeah, let me go ahead and show off the white. And it does have these plastic SMC poles. I know many people have wanted me to do a video of this one, so I figured might as well get a video of it now. Well, ever since I first got it back in like the summer of 2020, a lot of people have been wanting to see a video of it. But since I had other stuff that I had planned ahead before, or more so there were some fans I wanted to test beforehand that were more of a priority. But yeah, by the time you see this, it shouldn't be too much like time since I posted a video of me unboxing it and such. But yeah, it's using one LED 60-watt light bulb in there. Lights up the space pretty well. Just one of those cheap, great value ones. Oh no, it's not the great value ones. It's one of those max light ones I got at Ocean State. Yeah, it's definitely one of my favorite huggers that they ever made back then. Now, for being a cheaper fan, a hugger fan, especially from SMC, this fan does have a bit of a hum to it. I adjusted the globe in a certain way that it won't hum so much. It's mostly the globe that causes it to hum a lot. If I loosened it up any more, it would fall. Well, it wouldn't fall, but it would be too loose that it could loosen up even more and then fall. And if I tighten it anymore, it's gonna hum loudly. So I kind of have it like in between. And one thing I do like about this version of the Emperor is made by SMC is that it has those vents on the top of the motor housing. My favorite version of the Emperor is honestly the Moss one. I did see downward versions of the Emperors later on. I saw one in a hotel room that me and my mom, uncle, and cousin stayed at. My uncle, who has now passed. It was some cheaper one on a down rod. I remember it had some issues with like the pull chain. And then there's the one that's up in North Conway at the Penguin shop. I did a video of that 2 years ago now. So I've seen quite a bit of Emperors as a kid. It has a good low speed to it. It's not too fast, it's not too slow. But I've always liked the look of these Emperor fans. And I've always did want to get an SMC one at some point. So, yeah. Well, yeah, basically this was what you can find at like Kmart or Walmart back in the day. Back where they actually sold decent fans. Still nothing really of great quality. I mean, they did sell some Hunter fans back then, too, but it was obviously a step above this, without a question. Yeah. Getting a decent amount of air from it on the low speed. And it is to show you guys what I mean by if I tighten it more, how much more it will hum. Actually, just so you guys kind of get an idea. There we go. I did want to test this last year during the summer in 2020. However, with it being so hot, I kind of wanted to try to stay away from something that I know isn't the most powerful one, like this. That's why I tested more of those high showroom brand ones, like the New Tone Verandas, Deluxes, the Emerson, Casablancas, and such. Some of the Hunters, and a few of the Hampton Bays that I know were better performing ones. What I usually try to do is basically test more some of the fans I know aren't as good air movers, like the cheaper quality ones more when it's cooler out, because I know I'm not going to need something that's going to be strong enough to keep me cool and such. If it's cool, I won't need something too powerful to keep me cool while I'm testing. I try to test the more cheaper fans during that time. But obviously, when I make all the videos public, it's kind of a mixed timeline of when certain ones go public. Yeah. At first, I kind of had, I want to say doubts, but I was unsure if it was a good buy or not. But at the same time, I've always wanted to find one of these, and if I'm gonna find one that's in good shape, I might as well get one new in box. That way, the bearings won't be shot or something. I mean, I did pay a little bit more than I would have wanted to for this. But, I mean, it wasn't more than retail, obviously not. I mean, it was $40. It was kind of a, how do I say, it was kind of an impulse buy in a sense, but it's one that I've always wanted to get anyway, so. And I could see myself installing this somewhere, like if I had a basement where I could do an actual display. Kind of like what Cole did a while back with, not in like a display like I had in the other side of the basement. That was more like a workshop type install. If I was to do like an actual fan display and such, this would definitely be one I would consider. Definitely would make for like a good kitchen fan or a living room fan or even a bedroom one. That's like the 3 places I can see these installed in. That are in the church too, and some like areas that have low ceilings. Diners. There's a lot of places I can see these installed in. Now that I think about it, I know Troy the Fan Man, his apartment that he's living in, I honestly think that one of these would look really nice in his living room. As I do know he likes these types of fans quite a bit. The SMCs, especially the Emperors, I know he likes quite a bit. Or even in his bedroom, I think it would look pretty cool. But he does have a small bedroom from what I remember seeing in the video. I say, this movie needs an air on the medium speed too. At the same time, I have never tested an 80s version of these. So I'm not too sure. I mean, to me, it seems like a good air mover, especially on medium. But from what I've heard, these aren't the best air movers, the ones from the 90s. I would have to test an 80s one to really see the difference. But for someone that you can get from like Walmart or Kmart back in the day, it definitely means to me, it definitely moves a pretty decent amount of air. And for a fan that's pretty cheaply made, it definitely is a decent air mover. I'm not sure when they started selling these. Probably like in the mid to late 80s. I don't know if they were made in the early 80s. I really don't think so. But I know they were like at some point, like probably 1985 or something. Not 100% sure though. Alright, now for high speed. So I'll be sure to doesn't loosen up a tiny bit. Since the fan that hums, I already know it would vibrate, so just in case the screws decide to loosen up a tiny bit. I gotta say though, it actually is moving a pretty decent amount of air on a high speed. It's definitely not one of the worst fans I tested. It's not one of the best either, but for a Hager fan, it's definitely a decent air mover. It's not as powerful as a Hunter low profile or something like that. It's definitely not showroom air movement, but it's definitely decent air movement. Regardless of that, though, it definitely is a cool fan, though, regardless. Yeah, so yeah, it definitely does move more air than I was expecting it to. Still isn't the most incredible air mover, but it's definitely more than I expected. I know there was some SMC fans from the 90s that definitely didn't move almost any air that were huggers. Well, I guess this isn't one of them. Now, I'm not sure if all of them were called the Emperor Flush or if some of them were called the Royal Flush. I've seen some people have it under that name in the videos. I'm not 100% sure on that, but yeah. All right, and bring it up again. Hear movement. Yes, I definitely do feel that one of these would have looked pretty cool in the living room at my old apartment. The ceiling that it had. Show it on spin down and then I'll show it on reverse. And that sound in the background is just the heater, the furnace for the heater, the oil one. Sometimes they'll make that sound. Kind of makes it sound like an AC unit or something with like Freon in it. Yeah, I'll make that sound in some of the videos I test more in the following winter time, so you will hear that sometimes in the videos. I try to do it more so when it doesn't make that sound. If it's like towards the end of the video, I'm not gonna stop it and redo it just because of it. And honestly, I do not expect the spin down support gonna be pretty quick by the looks of it. It's the first time I've run the fan too, so bearings obviously aren't broken in 100%. Well, I want to say that they're not broken in, but I mean the motor definitely has some like broken in and such. Now for medium. All right, now for high. Alright, and that'll be it for this video. Thanks for watching, hope you enjoyed, and stay tuned for more videos to come.